So, okay. You graduated from technical school in 2023, and how did it happen that you ended up in the army? Who are you? Conscript? Contractor?
Contractor.
Didn't you serve in the military service?
No.
How did you become a contractor? Tell this wonderful story. At the age of 21, why do you need this?
At that time I was 20.
Take off your cap because you can't be seen.
At that time I was 20 years old.
It was 20 years old that year.
Yes.
Logical.
The subpoena arrived back in June 2023 for November. At the end of November, it was necessary to arrive at the military registration and enlistment office. Well, I didn't go to work anymore. There was no point in working, because if I went, I would finish the job for a while. I decided to go for a contract instead of military service.
And again, why did you decide to go for a contract instead of military service?
So as not to waste time, because I still had 4 months left before my military service. I saw that I would go and serve for 2 years. Well, before they served for 2 years. My uncle served.
Yes.
I saw that alternative service would not send me anywhere.
That is, instead of going to military service and serving for a year, you signed a contract for 2 years.
Yes.
Where is the logic?
Well, I didn't want to leave my hometown, but I had the opportunity to serve in my city and go home every day.
What if you were a contractor?
Yes.
Couldn't you do military service in that city?
No, in our country it's not possible for people to be recruited for military service in the same city. That is, if I had been from Pechora, I would have go somewhere near Moscow.
In Pechora, as far as I know, there seems to be an air defense system, Thompson Spake thing. What do you have there?
Not air defense. How was it? MAW, missile attack warning.
Military Space Forces.
Yes.
MSF.
MSF.
Military Space Forces. Yes. Good unit. There are people there. Yes. Fine. What did they tell you about your contract?
Well, they didn't say anything bad and they didn't say anything good. They react neutrally.
Did you know there was a war?
Knew. About what we have going on there.
What are you doing?
That there is fighting going on. Knew.
Didn't anything bother you?
At that time, no.
What did you knew about what was happening in Ukraine? In general, what did you knew about the war?
I knew there was a war going on somewhere in the territories of DPR, LPR. And as if, well, I didn't strive to get there, I didn't even want to, well, think about what was happening there. I didn't want to participate in this. It was like this for me. I lived through the day and it was good.
That is when you entered the unit? Well, just entered the unit, you already started serving.
Well, here it is, August 18, 2023.
Who were you assigned to in the unit? What is your position?
Private rifleman. Position rifleman.
What happened next, for example, in the months of September?
September, served. Well, I entered my duties, well, like soldiers on compulsory duty.
Yes. Did you go home every day?
Yes, I went. Well, our working days from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Salary 40,000.
Well, at first it was 37 and then it gradually increased to 41.
To 41. Did you regret it?
Because I signed the contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
I didn't immediately realize that I wouldn't be able to quit while the war was going on.
They didn't tell you this when they signed you?
No.
Have you read it?
I thought I had read it, but no matter how it was said, it wasn't in plain text. It was written that I would enter alternative service, serve for 2 years, and that's all.
What happened next? Where did you go? Where were you captured?
In Gorgalovka, Sudzhansky district.
Are you from Kursk People's Republic? Oh, I saw that they usually have contract soldiers in the east. Oh, what were you doing there?
Stood at the border.
For what?
Well, they sent reinforcements to the conscriptors. August 4.
This year?
Yes.
Have you come to the Kursk region?
No, I have been in the Kursk region since June 1st.
How many of you came from your unit which was not supposed to leave anywhere?
Well, I only know 3.
Yeah, where are they sitting now?
One is here, one was with us, but I don't know where he is now.
Uh-huh. Did you come to the Kursk People's Republic in June? What were you doing there before August?
We were just in the
Everything
dugouts.
fell into place. You have a rest, of course. August 4th, what happened?
On the evening of August 4th, we arrived at the strong point.
No, wait a second, clarification. Did you had basic training in your unit?
No, they sent me as soon as I arrived.
That is, they immediately sent someone who does not know how to walk information and so
No,
on?
they still taught in their free time. That is, when there is no work, let's say someone comes to me, the surgeon came up and offered to teach me how to walk, marching and the rest.
Uh-huh.
Well, it turns out that there was training, but not for the entire company, one at a time.
You see, this is how contract workers learn from them. You didn't have any training or
No.
anything. How many times have you shot with a machine gun in 2023?
Probably 3 times.
How many?
From 3 to 10 rounds.
Contractors must shoot normally. Something about your contract army has already become worse. This is wrong. You're a contractor, you're a contract soldier, rifleman.
Yes,
You should have, before going to course, how many rounds of ammunition did you fire?
around 4 magazines.
Is this for all time?
Yes.
In unit there?
No, in unit there is even less.
In unit until the moment you left.
In unit 1 magazine probably.
Magazine.
All in all.
Body armor and other ammunition issued.
Body armor,
Was it
helmet,
issued
yes.
to the unit?
No, not in unit. When we arrived, they handed us over. They brought us in KAMAZ trucks and handed us over.
Uh-huh. Start the story. When did the war started for you?
When I arrived on August 4th at the stronghold.
There was already shooting and exploding there.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh. Tell me everything that happened next.
On the evening of August 4th, we arrived and went inside the strong point. Our strong point was long. There were 2 kilometers of underground passages
Whoa.
here, and there have already been collapses in some places. There were hits from FPV drones and artillery.
Uh-huh.
There were rubble. We walked to our place where we slept into the dugout. They left their things and went on duty to replace other guys. That is, and I stand and watch there. Sometimes artillery will arrive there 1-2 times somewhere nearby. Vampire drone will fly in and drop something.
Now just a second. There was a cut. Spoke on the phone. Well, rubble a kilometer of tunnels.
Here you go. So the artillery periodically fired at us, the drones flew in, the vampire drone dropped something, and so the night passed. Then after duty in the morning I slept off. It was already the 5th. After I woke up I went back on duty. There has already been a collapse. As a result, the stronghold was divided into 2. We couldn't get into the part, they couldn't get through to us.
Uh-huh.
Some people were there, some
And
were
what
there.
distance at the point was it from the border?
3 kilometers.
That is practically in the rear. Were there any other positions ahead
Before
of you?
us? No, there were just minefields and there were already dragon teeth.
Well, couldn't you connect?
We only had telephone communication.
Uh-huh.
From August 5th, from morning to evening, artillery drones and mortars were actively firing at us. They broke us up little by little.
What was the name of the position?
Oleshnya.
Oleshnya.
We were broken, and there were fewer and fewer passages. Then from August 5th to 6th at night, there was a lull for maybe half an hour, and at night they fired at us again. Artillery, mortars, vampire drone began to drop, and all our exits and entrances were cut off there. We had to exit there probably from the strong point. And then on the morning of the 6th, Around lunchtime, they probably threw an incendiary grenade inside. Threw into a strong point caught fire. The smoke began to fill and it was impossible to breathe. Someone is already trapped under the rubble. You can't figure out who was and where.
How many people did you have there?
I don't know the exact number, somewhere around 35, 36 people, approximately. Maybe 10 people were cut off from us then. I stayed where there were more people. When everything was covered in smoke, I remained in position. Well, there was no order to retreat, as it were. We stood. I was already beginning to choke and lose consciousness. I took a t-shirt from my back, wet it with water and wrapped it around my face, well, to somehow breathe. Somewhere probably I was able to hold out like that for another hour. Then I look, there is no one around me. Well, everyone is already standing at the exit and breathing air. I came there too. I asked whether there will be evacuation or not. In the morning before all this, 2 people came to us. I don't know who they are. They said they had come to evacuate us, but we were waiting for the order to evacuate. And then at 5 p.m. on the 6th, we received an order that, depending on the situation, we needed to leave Aleshnya for Gorgalovka. There replenish ammunition, gain a foothold, and continue the defense. The order arrived, but we could not leave at 5 o'clock when it arrived, as if we had only one way out of the stronghold. FPV drones flew there. We had people lying down, and one by one they were shooting them down. By that time there were maybe 15 of us. No, there were 20 people then, so...
Where did the rest go?
I don't know exactly who was outside shooting back at the top and who was already left under the rubble.
Dead and wounded?
Yes, someone might have suffocated there. And... then we started, well, by 7 p.m., when it was slowly getting dark, we thought about going out. It's just a good time, and drones will not fly yet, and we will not be so noticeable. We began to leave as if under a smoke screen, the wind blew in our direction. We began to leave in 3 groups. I was in the first group. Machine guns fired at us and someone got injured immediately. Well, we were lucky to crowd there. About 15 of us left.
Did they leave the rest there?
No, they were not abandoned. People from the 3rd group stayed with them and they continued to evacuate them. We already had a task. The first group went to check the situation. That is, we should, in theory, probably be the first to die. Well, on the contrary, we are luckiest of all. Then the artillery started hitting us. They probably spent all the last ammunition on them before Gorgalovka. Drones adjusted artillery. She worked it very quickly for us. Someone got hit there. They lay there shooting back. People stayed with them. And we had a main task to reach someone at Gorgalovka and inform the situation. Artillery hit us. Mortars and tanks hit us. The vehicles drove at us with machine guns and fired at us in the forest belt. We have 4 people left in this turmoil. I don't know where anyone stayed. Here we ended up with 4 in total. By 3 o'clock in the morning we were in Gorgalovka. One man knew the road well, and so he led us. He said that's where our headquarters is. That's where the orders came from. We got there. Well, in the darkness, naturally, you can't see who's ahead. They shoot to us, stop who's coming. Well, we think finally ours. We say ours from Moleshnya on orders. They said, oh, well, everything is fine. Now we will contact the command. Well, we will contact the senior and report on your arrival. Well, I heard they began to report on the radio that 4 soldiers had arrived from Moleshnya. They say, okay, that's it. Now guys will come up to you, just for security reasons. You never know who came there, you lie down on the ground. Well, come up and see who you are. We'll check your documents. If everything is fine, then we will be able to pass. Well, we laid down, that's all. We didn't think that they weren't our own there anymore, and turns out. It tell us, that's it, don't move, if you move, we'll kill you.
Was someone moving?
No one could move anymore. He just sat on us and started tying us up.
How many people were there in the end?
There were probably 6 people.
And what about you in the end?
4.
4.
We were kind of, well, tired by then. None of the 4 of us had rested for several days. Some are on their 2nd day, some on their 3rd. Didn't eat anything, didn't drink. When we left, my shoes fell off. Already have my feet were frostbitten and I couldn't just walk anymore. I didn't have strength anymore. I wanted to drink. Well, they already got there easily. I didn't even have the strength to crawl anymore. When they tied us up with tape, well, I saw a comrade to my left being tied up and I saw blue tape on his helmet. I think, that's it, we're done.
Who do you think is to blame for what happened in the Kursk People's Republic?
Don't know, the culprits will be found, but I cannot judge who is guilty and who is not.
Should we look for the culprits?
Of course, they will find the culprits. In every case there are culprits, you can always find the guilty.
Did our armed forces have the right to go there and kill soldiers and border guard there?
Well, war is war, as it were.
Well, that is normal. No, well, it's a simple
We
question.
are in fact enemies.
Yes. I have a question. Who is to blame? Is he to blame?
Don't know.
Why don't you know?
I can't judge people without knowing who is guilty, without knowing the whole situation.
Who started the war?
Don't know.
You answered the question, who started the war, absolutely seriously. Don't know?
Yes.
Who attacked whom?
I don't understand politics, I don't know.
Well, that's just absurd. Viewer, I'm sorry, but this is some kind of crap. For 2.5 years, a full-fledged war has been going on a full scale. You attacked us. You mean slaves who don't know the truth and are not interested in politics. It's you, by the way. Do you really not know that you attacked us in 2022?
I don't know who to blame for this.
That is, who is to blame? You have entered 7 directions with an army of 180,000. Are there any other options for charges? Well, I mean, let's be honest.
If to be honest, I don't know how it all started, who entered first, who entered those territory.
In 2022, your army entered the territory of Ukraine in 7 directions. Who attacked whom?
So we're on you.
So you're on us. Logical. But here in this design there cannot be any other options. You are a representative of the army, and you don't know that you attacked us? And I'll tell you a secret that the war has been going on since 2014. Then you attacked us too. My question, who is to blame? Who is to blame for the fact that you're in captivity?
It's my own fault.
That is a person, when asked who is to blame, why are you in captivity, he says, I'm to blame. Will you consider other options at all?
Why, it's just that most of the blame lies with me for getting caught.
What if we think more globally?
If globally, then everything is clear.
In general, if about everything.
Maybe those who did not organize the evacuation in time
And even more global.
got caught, that's it.
Let's think even more broadly. If this did not exist, then, for example, you would not have been captured. What is this?
Well, if only there had been an evacuation
Let's
earlier.
move on. Let's not talk about the months of August.
If I had not been at the border, I would not have gotten there.
It's getting closer. Let's go even further.
If I had not accepted the contract, I would not have been captured.
You wouldn't get it. What if it's even more global?
Well, there's nowhere else to go.
If there had been no war?
Well, that too.
It's actually difficult, right? Who started the war?
We've probably started.
I'm pointing my finger at the one. Does we have a persona?
Don't know.
February 23, 2022. Old man. Announced, well, this one crazy guy. Announced the start of SMO.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Agreed, yes?
Yes.
He announced the beginning of the SMO and the SMO began. You got pushed back in 2022. They retreated in different places. 300,000 of you were killed. So, what was announced?
There was patrol mobilization.
Right. The year 2023 has begun. In 2023, you had to go to serve. You didn't go to military service. For what reason?
I wanted to serve at home.
I think not. I think you wanted to make money.
Well, everyone had their own thoughts.
Well, I see. What do you think?
I wanted to serve at home in my hometown.
Fine. If there were no SMO, how would your life develop?
Well, I would still go to serve in my unit.
Right. Would you be captured?
No.
Hence the question. If he hadn't declared war, would you be a prisoner?
I wouldn't.
Well, this is logical.
Logically, yes. If there is no war, there is no captivity.
Well done. That's what I'm asking about. Does all this horror have a face? You say no. It turns out there is.
I say I don't know.
Do you already know now?
Who started the war?
Yes.
The truth we don't know. About who started it first.
You really can't add up the facts and answer the question.
No, I can't tell you what you want to hear.
No, I want to hear what you think. What I want to hear is simply not interesting to me.
No, what I think is I don't know exactly where it all started. I wasn't interested in this because their news shows one thing, that there were some provocations at the border. Someone went there, ours, then yours, then ours again. There was complete confusion there.
No. It's not like that. Everything is completely clear. You have entered in 7 direction 24s. Numbers in the amount of 180,000 people. How could there be any confusion here? Before you entering, you fired 80 cruise missiles. This was your preparation. On the night from the 23rd to the 24th, in my opinion, about 30 divisions stood and fired at Kharkov. Hail, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. How can there be something ambiguous here? We didn't shoot at you, but you shot at us. We didn't come to you, but you came to us. I didn't come up with this to convince you of anything. This is the truth of the story, which even you yourself know, and this is what they say. You say so yourself. You are not hiding it.